Okay, it's been ages since I've done an update. I thought I'd do a little walk around the garden, show you what's been going on in the extension, some stuff with the chickens, and just show you what's been going on really. Okay, so I've easily never produced this much food before in my life. This garden has been producing all summer long. We've been eating like kings really, vegetable wise, and it's been great. I've got multiple crops out of most beds. I've done videos of it before. I mean, you can see this one here, got beetroot ready to go. I think we've had 6 beds of beetroot, 5 or 6 beds of carrots, loads of different brassicas. And I've got loads of autumn crops coming on. I've got stuff that are over winter. So I've got, in this cage here actually, that was some red Russian kale that just before we went on holiday, it was covered in cabbage white. So instead of picking them all off or picking it, I shoved the net over there, and you can see they stripped it bare in there. But it saved it spreading everywhere else, so that was quite good. And then down here I've got some chard, which I transplanted in, and that's doing brilliantly. That went in after kohlrabi. Or was it red cabbage, one or the other? And again, I've got some fennel down here. I mean, look at these guys. They need to put on a bit of growth, but the fennel bulbs should be ready in a month or so, I should guess. I've got New Zealand yams. These are covered in flowers at the moment. These are the experimental ones. So I've got to harvest the first patch of these this month, actually, and see kind of how they yield. So I'm looking forward to that. Tomatoes in this little polytunnel. Absolute disaster. Because I've got the plastic on, you just can't get to them. So I think my plan for next year is maybe move away from growing tomatoes in the greenhouse and don't bother with any outside really, other than on the patio maybe. Put myself a little kind of polytunnel that I can take down every year to kind of get over planting issues. But also it should mean I should move it then and get fresh soil every time. I mean, that's on fresh soil, but it got blight. Tomatoes just don't like being outside here, that's the trouble. Got purple sprouting, that's growing like mad. Obviously some vine there, a cucurbit of some description. I should say that's acachoa because I did grow some down here last year. So I should imagine the seeds have gone everywhere. I got some more beetroot there, and this one's been a bit disappointed down here. I don't know if it's because of all this cover with all the nettles and everything else. But you can see public enemy number 1 in my garden is mice at the moment, so they're kind of getting into everything. So I did make myself up a load more of these kind of wooden boxes, kind of a la Elliot Coleman, if you can see in there. So I've put mouse traps in them. You're not meant to bait them because they get used to the smell of the bait, but to be honest with you, they're not really working at the moment. I think I will need to put some peanut butter or something in them. Got some red cabbages and some lettuces. And these herbs growing here. The New Zealand yams, actually, I sold to a restaurant last week, just the leaves. So it's interesting, kind of as an interesting garnish for them. So if anyone's selling stuff, I mean, you've got to think outside the box. So I'm going to try and start market gardening and trying to think of ways of selling things that kind of aren't usual. So the leaves instead of the roots there, I mean, they grow all summer long and they taste amazing. Whereas the roots, kind of, will you get a harvest, won't you? All dependent on frost. This second batch of yellow beans haven't been as good as the first. I mean, it's cooler and damper now, but again, mice have been a real issue in there. Probably should get a cat, I hate the things. Onions, not harvested them yet. They've just started to fold over, actually. These were put in really late. So, I mean, they get a certain number of leaves and then go over. So people think they missed the boat a bit. I don't think I sowed them until May. And they're not huge, but there's the broom onions. So they're kind of like a shallotty type one. And I'll tell you what, they are gorgeous. I really, an onion's an onion, but they do taste really nice. I've got some more brassicas. This is my Caviar Nero kind of kale, which is doing great down there in that net. Some carrots. These are for Heritage Seed Library. These are red elephants. I'm going to leave all those, harvest a lot, pick out the best ones, save them really well over winter, plant them again for seed. And what else have we got? So one thing I've been doing this last week or so, and this is why I can't really see my paths at the moment, is I've pruned all my cordons. So all these apple trees have been pruned. You can see down there, so there's 35 trees. And some have got fruit on, some haven't. The idea is you take the leaves off, keeps them in the right shape, and you do it in the summer so it encourages fruit and buds. But also, as you take the leaves off, then the sun can get to the fruit and ripen it. I mean, look, some of these trees have got loads of little clusters of fruit. And it tends to be really high quality off these trees. I'm not saying the orchard fruit's poor quality, because I've got some good fruit down there. But I mean, I had an apple, a Warrener's King apple. There's only one apple on the whole tree, and it weighed just under £2. It was as big as my little boy's head, and did 2 crumbles out of one apple. I mean, that's, for me, that's ideal. I don't like peeling stuff anyway. So yeah, the greenhouses, the tomatoes haven't done as good in here. Maybe my mix in the buckets wasn't as good. They've not grown as high as they have some years, or perhaps I haven't fed them enough. I think what I probably need to do is get them in the soil, and that's why I'm thinking maybe a small-ish polytunnel down the bottom there, and I can move it every year, have a couple of patches where it can go onto easily, maybe some rebar knocked into the ground, and do that. And then in here, the chilies have done all right, but I've not concentrated enough on it. I've got some winter salad in some trays there, and some cucumbers I've left now, which I'll harvest for seed. And I've been saving tomatoes for seed as well, which has been great. I've got some swede down there for winter crops, and then I've got lots of squashes. I mean, I've shown you this one before, I know, but I think it's gorgeous. So that's a Oregon Homestead squash, really nice. The compost making's been good. So that's all the sheep bedding. It kind of compresses down to hardly anything really. So I'll tidy that up and cover that with a sheet soon, and maybe add some green stuff on top actually. And again, this was the 3rd bay, so I've done 3 bays of this year, just chucked in there. And I keep a bale of straw or hay, which I've got down there, that I add as my kind of brown waste to it to get your brown and your green mixes right. And this garden, it's been productive, but I've generally left it to its own devices, so lots of stuff that I don't need to focus on. Got some white beetroots in here, and unfortunate name, hate the name albino for anything white. It just kind of really puts people off. But this beetroot is called albino, and it's not as earthy, and it's really sweet, and I really like it. Also Japanese wineberries, and there's another one here which I'm not sure many people come across. So I've got one there that I don't know if you can see. Where's the camera? Out of focus. It's called a balloonberry, and all this, like kind of a cross between a strawberry and a raspberry apparently, but the taste of it, it's really insipid. It kind of looks amazing. It's kind of just pointless eating it. I don't know what goodness it gives you, but unlike the Japanese wineberry, which tastes amazing, strawberries and raspberries obviously taste amazing, the balloonberry's not caught on for a reason. Whereas the wineberry, I think, is kind of an unsung hero of this little garden here at the moment. And I'm going to be propagating this loads next year and putting in a big patch. I think there's marketability for that as well, on a small scale to little restaurants and stuff, just something different. I've got runner beans there I haven't really harvested, but I might just harvest the seeds, or I might even freeze them and not dry them and do them like they call it demi-sec, I think. So it's kind of, you don't have to soak them overnight, just take them out the freezer and use them. And over here, I've shown you my big bad boy squash before. Probably weighs more than my son, and there is so many. If we clamber over the nettles, so many squashes in here. He says not be able to see any. You see some more down there. You know what you can see. There's some smaller ones there. I need to look up the names of what all these ones were. Quite like the small ones. That's not a honey bear. I've definitely got honey bear further on down there. These I had French beans in here. We've had hardly anything out of these. These were kind of mouse eaten. Mouse traps have not been working on in this bed. Some more green curry kind of squashes, some more over there. And then I've got Brussels sprouts, which have done well. And I've harvested my quinoa. You can see just the stems left. I'll probably just leave them to rot off for now and do something with them later. I've got the quinoa in the extension. I'll show you in a bit. That's it grow well, but it hasn't had the big heavy heads that I've seen other people have put on Instagram and stuff, so I'm not sure what my yield's going to be. One that has done really well this year is the Yacon. You can see it's just starting to, flower heads are forming. I didn't have that last year, so I've obviously got it in early enough. So I'm looking forward to seeing how big the roots are on that. And again, New Zealand yams, where I was harvesting some leaves from the other day. More squashes. I've got loads of squashes this year. I'm going to have to sell some, definitely. Then these, this flower is from the skirret root. So I'm looking forward to trying that as well. And again, globe artichokes up there. I gave some to a friend the other day. Got enough to probably sell again, actually. Only about 10 plants, but you need a lot to make a decent meal. I'm not going to feed the world on that plant, that's for sure. And then, what else have we got? So we bought some, I say we, I don't think my wife had much to do with it, some meat chickens the other day. Or meat day-old chicks. I don't know if you saw on the blog. So I got these little guys. Open that up. So these are just under 2 weeks old now, 13 days old. They put on a serious amount of growth. And that red feed trough there, I'm having to fill at least twice a day. They kind of do vacuum up the food. So there's 19 in there. Unfortunately, one's died. I think you always have to allow a little bit for kind of losses. And the idea is that I'll put them in one of my pasture pens. We'll go down now, look at the chickens. Chickens have been laying well. I think I've had some egg eating issues. Whenever you get commercial birds, you put them in a different situation to what they've always been in. I think you always will get some issues with egg eating and things like that. But they seem to have kind of leveled out now, and they seem to be much better behaved. And that seems to have stopped. Sometimes it can be a lack of protein, but I've been good with the food and given them plenty of variety. So I think it's just just a little habit. It's only the one pen. The fire pen didn't do it. This one did. You see these guys pretty happy in here. And it's been working well. I mean, I'll show you where they've been the day before. Maybe I need to make a better way of steering these pens. They're not great at steering. So you can see the muck is all kind of distributed. And I think actually over winter I'm going to take them out of here and put them in that 2-acre patch there. It's probably my worst patch of grassland. So I'm hoping a nice flush of nitrogen over the winter. Keep moving them up and down, up and down. Meat birds as well. Might do that field some real favours and get it working a bit better. And then these have been gorgeous. I was going to cut them for a compost crop, blah, blah, blah. I was going to do like fertility and all that kind of stuff, moving it across. But they're just so gorgeous, I couldn't do it. So we come back off holiday and they're flowering. I thought, I'm going to let them all flower. So they've been lovely. So we'll save some for the chickens. I've been cutting some for friends, for bunches, and we've had some in the house ourselves. So it's been really nice. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all we've got from there. So this mustard, and you can see all the mustard seed. I ought to cut some of this down before I never get rid of it, really. But yeah, it's been good. And stuff has just grown this year. I've not had to water too much. Obviously, input plenty of fertility. I'll show you my muck pile, and then I'll show you the extension afterwards. So someone was going around the world on a tandem bike with their partner, and they had to get out of some land they had, and they had to clear it. So I got given, I think there's 6 little trailer loads of black gold over here. You see it? It's just awesome. So that's going to go on this kind of half-acre patch that I'm going to start, and on my normal veg garden. I need to get cracking with, really. I was hoping to have it cleared and turn it over. I don't think that's going to happen. I might have to happen over winter, which means I won't get green manure on it. It's not the end of the world because I've got plenty of muck. So it would have been nice to put some rye and some vetch and stuff down, but never mind. Right, I'll show you the extension. Okay, so we finished the patio. So if you can see this, I'm not going to lie, it is a big patio, but it seemed daft to do a small one. And we just covered the old one up really, but went a bit wider for the extension. So I've got these planters in here, which have been kind of running all summer. This one went in beforehand. And I've got blighted tomatoes. These tomatoes have been really heavy producers actually. So it's kind of like I can't remember which way around it is, determinate or indeterminate. Trailing tomatoes, and much I can do to stop the kids eating them all the time. Then on this side I've got some herbs. I've got some summer savoury there, which if you've never tried it, tastes kind of like mixed herbs, quite nice. Some African basil, which has been gorgeous. The bees have gone mental for that. It's really good. Sage, electric daisies, called Queenia, which I took to a restaurant the other day for them to try, and they were really, it's got a real complex kind of coriander-y, citrusy taste. And then some garlic chives, which are gorgeous as well. The flowers on them are gorgeous also. And then in here is the extension. Now I have actually managed to get in here this summer, let the light change on that, but not as much as I probably should have. Down here I've got my quinoa, which I need to hang up actually to get it to dry properly. I only harvested it the other day when it was in a dry spell. And then a cautionary tale for you all: when you order something, check it when it comes, because I didn't check the toilet, opened it 3 months later, smashed the smithereens. So that's a waste of 50 quid, but never mind, worst things happen at sea. And then up in the extension, you can see I've done some boarding. So the bedroom is pretty much boarded, you can see the other walls, and so is the bathroom. It's getting there slowly. And the cupboard over here, that's boarded as well. And the idea with this cupboard, sorry, swinging the camera around like a madman. So I can open this cupboard from this side, put the towels and stuff in, and then from the other side, just 8 inches deep in the bathroom, height of a door, means I can put all the toilet rolls, toiletries, stuff that generally clutters up a bathroom that I hate, can go in there. So the bath needs to move across now to there. I've got some pipe work to sort out, and then finish this wall off, build this in, get the one side plastered, and I can get plasterboarded, and then I can get my mate and just plaster it, which will be nice. So it means I can push on a bit more, maybe be in this side by Christmas, which is what I said probably last year. But yeah, it seems to be getting there very, very slowly. When you're on your Todd, everything does take a bit longer, so you have to kind of allow for that. But no, I'm getting there, and I feel like I've done something to it. I've not just sat there and waited. But yeah, so that's basically a quick overview of what's going on. The sheep are still here, and so are the lambs. I'm hoping to sell them all for stores in a couple of weeks' time. Was going to do it last week, but the store sale it was huge, so I thought we'd hold off and go on a quieter week really. The lambs are looking good though, and just hope to get rid of them before I kind of run out of grass now, because I haven't got huge amounts left. And I might keep a few back for our own consumption, do a video on that maybe later. And yeah, that's kind of it really. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up, press subscribe if you haven't already, tell your friends about it, and pop over to the blog. Thanks for watching, bye.